I think he just recently moved from Chicago down to Austin to get more practice, better players down there. Austin's where Ben and Colin are living. So it's definitely a good place that a lot of pro players are trying to move to.
What would you put as #1 in terms of pickleball hotbed? Austin? Is it South Florida?
Yeah, probably the Delray Beach area. We're seeing a lot of pro talent down there. Anna Bright, the Ignatowicz, Dylan Frazier recently moved down there. Hayden Patrickman.
Already you can hear some pop from the crowd.
And they're not waiting to see if those drives are any good. They're just driving the ball, crashing the net.
Nicely covered by Zane. Hewett pulls down the line, and Navratil was ready.
Yeah, that's not going to work. Zane has such good anticipation.
Deep return from Navratil at the start of that.
3-0-1. Point. 4-0-1. Thanks, sir.
Forehands up the middle on this lefty-righty pairing. Nice Ernie from Hewett. Miss serve from Rafa. Wow. Very short points here, not much developing.
Yeah, Rafa and Hunter just need to focus, kind of settle in, play their game. And Don Sandler, our head referee, actually kind of gave a little bit of a warning a couple points ago. I saw him doing that hand motion that he just did. He was trying to signal to these players that, hey, I'm watching that. And he just called one.
Miscommunication in the middle there from Johnson and Hewett.
Yeah, just need to communicate on balls like those.
5-0-2.
Too hot on the counter from Hunter Johnson.
0-5-2.
Nice spot by Cincola on Hewett.
Rafa just a touch slow right now.
5-0-1.
start. 6-0.
6-0-1. Second serve. 6-0-2.
All right, so serve back to Johnson and Hewett here. Let's see if they can raise their energy.
Fans are loving it here in Milwaukee. First ever PPA Tour stop in Wisconsin.
Zane again, winning the hands battle.
Yeah, and Zane and John are just having no trouble with the pace that Hunter and Rounf are bringing right now, and that's the difference.
Oh.
6-0-2.
Nice dig there by Johnson off the net tape, but doesn't end up mattering. They attack Rafa again with success. 7-0 to the number 8 seed, Cincola and Navratil. We're going to get a timeout here. A listless start, teen men's doubles match. Johnson long again on the counter. The crowd has been enjoying the way this one is headed. Not only Navratil, the Wisconsin native, but Johnson Cola. Cincola growing up in the Chicago area, playing college tennis at the University of Illinois, Chicago.
A lot of D1 tennis players on the PPA Tour.
Well, this is one of these games for Hunter Johnson and Rafa Hewett. You just want it to end.
Yeah, they're just gonna have to forget about this one if it doesn't go their way. We know that they can play way better than this.
Money on the drop volley for Johnson Cola.
That was gorgeous. A lot of times you don't want to invite the other team to the net like that, but he hit it so soft and was so well placed. It was a clean winner.
Better pace that time from Johnson and Hewett.
Yes, sir. 1-9-1.
Nice crashing there from Cincola. Gets it right into the body of Rafa.
1-2.
And he's just late on a lot of these hands battles.
Time 1-1. Second serve.
You've seen Zane miss a couple drives from the back line off his back foot.
Time 1-2.
Just a little bit off balance, and that's why he hit into the net.
Coming off of Johnson's paddle awkwardly. Cincola mistiming the counter.
You know, we mentioned earlier that the ball is playing a little bit soft, and it doesn't really suit Hunter Johnson and Rafa Hewett, who love to drive the ball. And maybe that's affecting their game just a little bit.
Yeah, both Johnson and Hewett, if you look at the rankings, their best event is singles by far. Johnson 7th in the men's singles ranking, Hewett 20th. And both of them in the mid to low 20s in both mixed doubles and men's doubles.
Yeah, Hunter Johnson's in the finals for singles. And I love Federico Staxter's interview where he was talking about how he used to play Hunter Johnson in like the second round, the quarterfinals, but he knew he was going to eventually be in semis and finals.
Time 1-2.
Bring it in. Come on. Come on.
1-1.
They were in a lot of trouble there off a popped-up dink from Rafa. They fought their way out of it. 2-9.
Second serve.
Rafa's still searching out there.
Nice combo there from Hunter Johnson. A lot of players, they go backhand, they're ready for the forehand.
3-2.
ATP just long. Navratil in the end, terrific point there. That was a fun exchange. Couple of net cords, some ATPs. Ooh.
Hunter and Rafa finally getting a chance to hit the ball hard. Throughout this match, it's kind of been a different Hunter Johnson than we're used to seeing. He's hitting drop shots and dinking, and that's just not what we're used to seeing from him on tour.
Freeman and Fu, the 23 seeds, upset Dawson and fought in just a terrific 11-9 in game 3. Game point here at 10-4-2. Flashy finish. Zane Navratil and John Cincola. Cincola and Navratil with the lead. And another really good move from Zane, able to do quite a bit of damage on that backhand flick.
Yeah, they're putting really good pressure on Rafa and Hunter, making them pay for any mistakes.
1-0-2.
Is it a tactical adjustment for Rafa and Hunter, or do you feel like it's just sharpening up the energy and executing at a higher level?
They definitely need more energy, but they're at their best when they're driving the third. So even if it's a return of serve that looks like it might be a drop, I think they still need to drive the third and maybe even the fifth as well.
Oh, missing the third that time is Hunter Johnson.
Especially to his forehand side, he needs to be driving those.
Zane that time on the poach, unable to recover the position.
1-0-2.
Called out.
Timeout. 0-1. Second serve.
Great spot from Zane there. Catches Rafa right in the middle in an awkward position, forces the air.
They leave it, and Rafa on the Ernie does avoid the foot fault narrowly, but unable to land the ball.
Yeah, that's a tough shot, and I don't know that shot was there to go for.
2-0-1. Second serve.
Yeah, so return it to John's backhand, just like that. I think that's going to be the focus right now. You're trying to play it there, but when you're trying to isolate a spot on the court, it's a small window and you're going to miss sometimes, and I think that's what Rafa did there.
And Cincola can use that runaround footwork as well to find the forehand.
Absolutely go. Loves to run around it.
It's better for Rafa.
They're a streaky team, so they're definitely not out of this match. You know, they lost that rally, but it was a good-looking third, and that's what they need to continue to do.
0-3-2.
A great dink with pace from Rafa there. It was a perfect dink.
1-3-2.
Hunter Johnson. That was an emphatic Ernie.
Gorgeous.
2-3-2.
It's a momentum starter right there.
gets a point.
You see how high level it is here on the PTA Tour.
What remarkable defense that was from Hewett and Johnson.
Good point. Let's go.
3-3-2.
Just tremendous defensive scramble.
And just a noticeable more pep in their step right now.
Still waiting on our first yeah baby from Rafa Hewett.
John cross court with it again. Rafa just a touch late, but yeah, Rafa is one of the most hilarious players on tour, and if you're watching him for the first time, typically he's a lot more expressive. He's so funny. And Rafa's always incredulous when the other team calls his shots out. Always.
After review, the end ruling stands, the ball was in. Challenge was lost and timeout was lost. 2 timeouts remaining.
Thank you. Close call replay for the confirmation on that one.
At 3-4-2.
Johnson and Hewett, first lead of the match.
3-4-2.
Short return, Cincola all over it.
And Rafa just kind of trapped in transition zone there.
5-4-2.
Navratil misses the body of Hunter Johnson.
4-5-1. Thank you, sir. 4-5-2. 20.
No good. Saw the space, tried to rip that forehand drive.
A risk reward there. I'd like to see him maybe drive the middle more, especially since they're down a game. Pitch is staying in the shoulder there. So the current strategy for Johnson, Cole, and Zane Navratil is pretty much to try and roll the third shot drop to Hunter Johnson's backhand.
Yeah, there it is, Matt. Why do you think they're doing that?
That was a really good drop. It forces pop-ups, forces him to either reset. He can't attack it off the bounce usually. We all know Hunter Johnson has great forehand, so they're trying to play it to his backhand.
Good move by Hewett. He's had the Ernie going.
That was a really nice one, yeah. Great ball from Rafa Hewett.
5-6-1.
Once again from Hewett and Johnson.
And Rafa kind of guessed that he was going to go down his line there, and he was ready with the counterattack.
Cincola pops up the dink.
Yeah, I mean, Hunter Johnson's really expecting it to come there. But that was an easy pop-up for him to handle.
So as expected, Hunter Johnson and Rafa Hewett have been able to find their games. Been a good battle in game number 2.
Okay, so what makes Hunter Johnson and Rafa Hewett so dangerous is one player is going to drive the third, and the next player is going to crash on the 5th shot. So I've seen them.
The official ball of the PPA Tour.
Tour event. Hunter's generating a lot of topspin on his rolls. Paddle grit has been a big hot topic as well this year.
Johnson mixing up his spins on the dinks as well.
All right, so throughout this match, you know, Rafa's been a touch late on those counterattacks. On that one, he was totally ready, so that was a big point.
10-6-1.
I like the idea, but chose the wrong spot. Go middle with those.
Cincola can't finish. The open. We've got a game 3 in this round of 16 men's doubles. A great start. Aggressive dink up the middle there by Hunter Johnson. Draws the error.
Yeah, a lot of top players will probably tell you the middle dink opens up a lot of opportunities right now on tour. And Hunter's hitting that drive about 70%. I'm really used to seeing him rip it. I don't know if that's because the ball is not sitting up high enough for him. We'll see if he turns up the heat.
No problem so far for Johnson and Hewett as they are out to a 4-0 start.
4-0-2.
Nearly found his way back in. Oh, touched his. Nope.
Looked like it was sailing out, but kind of a last-minute move from Hunter Johnson. It just touches the edge of his paddle.
for Rafa Hewett. Got a lot of topspin on that counter.
Rafa's loving it right now. All 4 players are smiling, I think. They're all good friends.
Cincola with an attackable third there for Hunter Johnson. All the returns are headed the way of John Cincola.
Zane's frustrated he missed that one. He thought that was definitely a ball that he usually puts home high into his backhand side.
Gets it done that time.
He decided out here at 5-1.
Well, you may not have heard it because the crowd reacted, but that was a yeah, baby, from Rafa Hewett.
The level of difficulty on that around the post is so high. Navratil.
Coming up next, we're going to see the number 2 seeds, Duong and Frazier, go up against French and Stone.
Really well placed there.
1-6-1.
No dice for Cincola.
1-6-2.
Miss hit from Johnson on the volley.
Yeah, and sometimes there's just so much pace, and that's what forces error. So a nice drive from John.
Wow. 6-2-1. Point.
The 7-2 lead, it's just unnecessary probably come that far off the court and get out of position. And you just stay steady.
7-2-2.
Crowd starting to murmur as Cincola and Navratil look to work their way back. Nice job by Hewett there on the block. Cincola just lacking a little bit of conviction off of his attacks.
Yeah, I mean, they're playing a lot at him right now. Again, they're trying to work a specific spot on the court, and it just creates more inconsistency.
Reset 2.
We've got a bunch of players on the court that don't like to hit backhands. They're kind of running around, most of them.
7-3-1.
Serve back to Johnson Hewett. And Rafa sends it through the middle.
8-3-1. Second serve. 8-3-2.
Way wide on the ATP.
3-8-1.
Bad luck for Zane. Net cord pops up for Rafa Hewett.
Yeah, sometimes the net is in your favor and sometimes
3-8-2.
sometimes not. Good hands from Hunter there. Ball goes back to Rafa, 8-3.
That's a deflating couple of points.
8-3-1.
The returners are on a run here.
Eight, 3-2.
Cincola fires one down Broadway on the tail end of a long dink exchange.
Fans are loving it. They're definitely cheering for John.
3-8-1.
And Johnson responds.
And that is a dead dink. Gives the other team a lot of options, especially to Hunter Johnson's forehand. A really easy attack for him.
3-8-2.
Hunter again slams it home.
8-3-1.
Still stuck at 8-3. Oh, and the drop from Hewett, setting up Hunter Johnson beautifully.
You can see how the topspin roll dink can really force errors. It's a hard ball to dink back and force a pop up there.
Point, match point.
Missed return brings us to match point.
10-3-1. One game now.
Johnson and Hewett flat early, but excellent late, and they take it in 3. A comeback in the round of 16 here in Milwaukee as Johnson and Hewett win games 2 and game 3, 11-6, 11-3 to take down Zane Navratil and John Cincola. We're with them now. Hunter, how did you get things going after the slow start?
Yeah, I mean, I guess that first side was a little tough on some bounces there. We got a little unlucky. We kind of had the wrong game plan. We kind of just switched it up. They were firing balls. I mean, played too good. And we knew that, like, every point we were in, we just had to execute and ended up doing it well and happy to get the win.
They surprised you with how they played?
Yes, yeah. They were just firing. Zane was making every ball, every hard counter. He was destroying us. So we just had to regroup, and it worked out.
And Rafa, I know you like to use the crowd and sort of ride that energy, but you're playing someone from Wisconsin and another guy from the Chicago area. But were you prepared to sort of play the role of crowd silencer this time?
Oh yeah, no. Zane and John, they're great guys, great friends of mine off the court as well. But mad respect to them. Those guys have done a lot in the sport. So getting to play against those guys and get to play at their hometown and take them down, I kind of enjoyed that.
Well, yeah, you'll certainly get to continue to enjoy it into the quarterfinal. Hunter, what will be the key for you guys as you look to advance to Sunday?
Yeah, I think we got a tough match coming up. We're just going to get a good game plan going, make some balls. I think whoever makes more dinks wins, so I think we're going to do that, and I think we're going to come out on top.
Find the dead spots.
Find the dead spots.
Well, it might be Andre Diescu and Pablo Tejas. It may be Anderson Scarpa and Ivan Yakulevich. They are going to take the court shortly on the grounds, but up next for us on center court, and thank you, Hunter and Rafa. We appreciate the time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up on center, it'll be Duong and Frazier going up against French and Stone as our coverage continues on Pickleball TV of the Veolia Milwaukee Open.
For muscle cramps and spasms, what's your move? The Hercules? Make the move to TheraWorks for fast muscle relief. Safe, gentle, and absorbs quickly for relief.
TheraWorks works.
Try TheraWorks and